Hey everyone, welcome to this weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast for Monday, July 20th through Sunday, July 26th, 2020. All right, so we're going to test out these weeklies. We did a weekly last week for when I was on a holiday, but looking at some of the comments and reflecting on it a little bit, I think this is something good we could test out. I've been doing dailies for the past, I think, 6-7 years, and that's been great, but at the same time, weeklies do provide a good value. So I do want to test these out for the next at least few weeks, see how it goes, swap out the dailies for the weeklies. So let me know what you think about that in the comment section. I'm sure some of you do prefer the daily videos, but we'll see how this goes and tell me if you think that you do prefer this format. All right, so most important thing this week is that we do have a new moon right at the beginning of the week on Monday in Cancer, the Crab. If you're expecting me to say Leo, definitely check out the link down below for more information on true Sidereal astrology. But Cancer, the Crab will be starting off this whole lunar month around cultivating our more protective side. How can we connect to our emotional and intrinsic values in life, like home, our private life, reflect on the past a little bit, and create that protective environment in order to do that, and also to help create a protective environment for others. Our nurturing and caring side can all be really good to develop for this lunar month, but great for this week as we slowly build momentum in this very early phase of the cycle, getting into what will be the first quarter phase next week. All right, so, and do check out the new moon video. I did just release that yesterday if you haven't seen that specifically. So the most important thing for this week is slowly building momentum, setting new intentions with this Cancerian energy. On Tuesday, we do have Mercury squaring Chiron, which can be great for healing of all kinds. Physical or spiritual healing, anything we want to do to challenge ourselves with that can be great. And then Wednesday, Mercury sextile Uranus. Great to maybe mix some things up with the routine, maybe with learning new things, communicating in new ways, getting outside the box a little bit can be great. So that's where the concentration of aspects are in the early part of the week. And as we get into the later part of the week, we'll notice a bit more momentum with the lunar month, and good to get into some Virgo energy with the moon in Virgo for the second half, which is about improvement, refinement, taking care of things, and again, building towards this new beginning from earlier in the week. All right, so let's take a look at all this here in more detail when we return. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at this for each day of the week here, starting with Monday and the new moon here in Cancer. So again, as you can see, we are using the visible sky, which is different from mainstream astrology. So for example, if you were expecting me to say that the new moon was in Leo here on this Monday, then definitely check out the link down below for more information. We are using the visible sky called true Sidereal astrology, and it does change the signs from mainstream astrology. All right, so let's take a look here. Monday, new moon. Again, if you haven't seen that video, do check it out. But a great time of just doing a bit of a reset, right? Maybe still ending and completing things from the previous lunar month, and starting to set some new intentions for the new month, and asking yourself, how can we now further develop this Cancerian energy of creating that protective environment for ourselves and others? Cancer the Crab is about getting into the more feeling-based elements of life, things that are important to us intrinsically and emotionally, right? And caring for ourselves and others in order to further develop these more intrinsic values and things important to us there on a feeling realm. So great to do that. And again, all month really good, but especially Monday and Tuesday with the moon in Cancer, suggesting again that whole new beginning with that. Now, as I talked about in the new moon video, we do have these oppositions between the new moon, and in this case with the sun and Saturn. So this first couple days, Monday, Tuesday, great to do a status check in the yearly sense. How has the past 6 months gone in terms of the year? And especially in the sense of anything that has been taking time or will take time or that we're working towards with Saturn. And how can we now make some shifts and changes, right? It's almost like a status check of the year in that sense, and seeing what's working, what isn't, maybe making some shifts and changes, and how can we again further put in some discipline, some patience, some perseverance, right, towards some of these longer term things. Could be a great way of starting the week really with Monday and Tuesday. And so with this, as we start to get into Tuesday, Mercury does start to square up to Chiron, which does make it great for all types of healing, especially healing that involves the mind or communications in some way. So for example, picking up that book on healing could be great. Maybe doing some things with the routine for health healing could be also great. Anything that is on the spiritual or physical planes that we can challenge ourselves with regarding healing, regarding facing some wounds even. And this could be very, inner and personal. If there's any wounds that do come up, maybe challenging ourselves to do these things like communication or learning in the face of some wounds can be very healing, very therapeutic for us. Pretty much all around Tuesday, as again, we do start that new beginning. So before we look at the rest of the week, I do want to talk about where all the placements are here in the sky. So we still do have Mercury in Gemini, so it's still a really good time all week long for still learning. Mercury in Gemini is great for getting in touch with the more practical side of life, of gaining knowledge and information particularly. But not only ending it there, gaining knowledge and information, but also exchanging it with others, right? Gemini can rule writing, can rule communication, can rule connecting with our peers or neighbors, right? So sharing and exchanging knowledge and information, really good at this time, either personally or interpersonally with Mercury here. Venus is in Taurus, so great to be enjoying the more resourceful and grounded elements of life as it has been for the past few months, with Venus, who was retrograde here not too long ago. And so very good time for enjoying the more sensual elements of life, whether it's a good meal or some nature, getting into the aesthetics and beauty of things, maybe connecting in a more sensual and grounded way in our relationships. All of this very much supported with Venus and Taurus. And then Mars still in Pisces, of course. He'll be here for a very long time until mid-January. When we're taking action right now and asserting ourselves, the question is how can we do it in a more receptive way? Because Mars in Pisces is like the fires in the middle of the ocean. And so it's very important to be listening and following our intuition and putting energy and motivation towards things that are more spiritually important to us is usually a really good way of working with it. So it favors all of that, as well as spiritual activities that mix the fire with the water, the intention with the ideal, or the intention with the spiritual, right? Still a really good time for that energy. So that's the placements with the fast movers I wanted to talk about coming into this week. But once we do get into Wednesday, and this will be taking us pretty much late, let's call it late Tuesday, very late Tuesday, especially if you're in the western part of the world. But for all day Wednesday and all day Thursday as well, the moon will be in Leo. And so all the way up until the end of Thursday. And so Leo the Lion, it'll be a great middle part of the week for expressing ourselves, doing anything that we do find fun, playful, passionate, having a little bit of that entertainment, fun, creative energy in our life, really good to develop. And coming out of Cancer, this is really about now, taking those things that are important to us on an emotional level of Cancer and then expressing them and creating with them and playing with them, right? This is what Leo represents, is more of the fire and passion energy that comes out of those emotional and internal values. Now with that, around Tuesday and even, actually around Wednesday most strongly, the middle part of the week, we do have Mercury sextiling Uranus. So nothing major with this, but great to mix some things up when it does come to the routines. Kind of like Leo energy, in that Uranus can be about individual self-expression. And so great to see what our true selves want, to mix some things up, to experiment a little bit, maybe learn some new things with that Mercury, maybe communicate new and different ways with that Mercury. So just a bit of an opening, nothing major with this one, but an opening to experiment, get outside of our comfort zone a little bit, and especially with the moon in Leo, it could be a very supportive way of working with that middle part of the week. And then once we do get into Friday, the moon will be shifting into Virgo, where the moon will be for the whole weekend. So no major aspects over the weekend, as you can see here, but the moon in Virgo makes it great for doing the work, essentially. A great weekend for taking care of any daily responsibilities, anything that requires a sort of self-discipline, such as health, diet, routines, solving problems, fixing things, right, taking care of things. That'll be a great way of working with the weekend there. And the most important thing going into next week is that as we do finish the weekend and going into Monday, we will start to enter into the first quarter phase of the lunar cycle, which means that it's where we usually come up to our first challenges of the lunar month, or at least it's a good time to challenge ourselves. So the question is, as we get into next week, very late of this weekend, is any new intentions we've set or new beginnings we've seen since the beginning of this week, how can we challenge ourselves to incorporate, right? And buckle down, set the intention, take some actions, work on it. Right, and that could be a really good way of going into next week, which next week can end up becoming a very constructive time for whatever these new beginnings are that are slowly coming out of the early part of this week. All right, everyone, so that is the week in a nutshell. Hope you have a fantastic week. Thank you again so much for watching. Be sure to click that like button if you haven't yet. If you're on YouTube and would like to stay notified of these videos, click the notification bell down below to stay updated on when these videos are released. And because I'm doing these weeklies, I will have more time, so I'll be sprinkling in some different kinds of videos, more informative videos that encompass more general topics. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you all in the next update. Take care. Bye-bye.